Welcome to the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast, brought to you by American Greatness, Ezra Zion, and Cigars Direct. If you want all of your cigars and your cigar needs, anything you need, cigar related, go to cigarsdirect.com. They have cutters, they have humidors, they have high-end cigars, they have limited edition cigars, they have your regular everyday smokers. You want to go to cigarsdirect.com for all of your cigar and tobacco needs. Also, Ezra Zion, obviously, the back of my computer covered in Ezra Zion stickers, and I'm wearing an Ezra Zion hat today. I can sometimes point to it right up there. Some of the best cigars I've ever had in my life. They are small batch cigars. You can get all of those by just Googling Ezra Zion cigars. I should know the website, shouldn't I? Doesn't matter. You can go Google it. Ezra, you're smart people. Go Google it. You can get very limited edition, Nomad edition cigars. Great stuff that you only get once, maybe in a lifetime. It's amazing stuff, and great friends that run that. Great company. Go to Ezra Zion Cigars and also cigarsdirect.com. That being said, Democrats continue to be, well, how would you say, racist this week?
Get the fact that the farm that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
So apparently that's what illegal immigrants are to Democrats. They are just people who pick things out of the ground. They pick our vegetables. That's what they do. Kind of reminds me of this clip from The View, the greatest clip I think ever from The View.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, no. You know what I mean? Like when I'm saying that more.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Let's take a look at that again. Again, this is how Democrats view illegal immigrants. They're just here for a vote and to pick their vegetables.
Forget the fact that the farm that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
And when they're not here doing that, they're cleaning your toilets, Donald Trump.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that,
no.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm saying that more.
I love that clip because she really thought she had something there. She really thought that she had the real kicker and was really going to bring something home there for Democrats. Who's going to clean your toilet, Donald Trump, and who's going to pick your vegetables? Well, illegal immigrants, apparently. That's what they do. Hey, look, maybe Democrats wouldn't be so harsh about illegal immigrants and just making stereotypes if they only followed the example of their leader, Joe Biden, who apparently started the entire civil rights movement in an AME church in Delaware.
I was talking downstairs. I've spent more time in the Bethel AME Church in Wilmington, Delaware, than I have than most people I know, black or white, have spent in that church. Because that's why I started. No, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30 Mass, then I'd go to 10 o'clock service with the Reverend who was then running the church, is now the bishop. She's a bishop, and I'm told your bishop had been there before in South Africa. That's where he is right now. The point is that I've been blessed to worship here before as well.
What? What did he, again, he starts to go into a total rant. He has no idea where he is, does this Joe Biden. But again, here's the part where you need to listen up.
Or where to spend that church. Because that's why I started. No, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to.
That's where he started the civil rights movement at Bethel AME Church. Joe Biden himself started the civil rights movement at Bethel AME Church in Wilmington, Delaware. I had no idea. Did you have any idea that he started the civil rights movement? He's serious. No, I'm serious. Anytime he says that, by the way, he's totally lying. Let's go back to this.
Very seriously.
It's interesting that Siri waited. Siri, close.
I'm sorry.
I really like that, by the way, the computer just weighed in to tell me that it takes me very seriously. I wish I could have screen grabbed that and sent it to you. Makes no sense. Here we go. Joe Biden, again, claiming that he started the civil rights movement.
I was talking downstairs. I've spent more time in the Bethel AME Church in Wilmington, Delaware than I have than most people I know, black or white, have spent in that church. Because that's why I started. No, I'm serious. I started a civil rights movement. I used to go to 7:30 Mass.
He started the civil rights movement, you guys. So just never forget that. Joe Biden, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Now, I guess that makes perfect sense. If you don't vote for him, you ain't black because he started the civil rights movement at Bethel AME Church in Wilmington, Delaware. Please. Also this week, John Fetterman, after his stroke and recovery, has really turned into other than his voting record, what I would really like to see from congressional Republicans. Here's John Fetterman actually acknowledging the genocide in South Africa. I don't even know that I've seen a Republican acknowledge the genocide in South Africa, but here's John Fetterman doing it.
Who are they really fighting? It's a group of cowards. They hide in tunnels. They hide behind civilians. They attack, kill, and mutilate children, women, and they do that. Stop talking about proportion on that. They shot their best shot on October 7th, and they would have taken more lives if they couldn't do that, but they couldn't do it. And now let's also talk about that. Now we're talking about genocide, and now South Africa is bringing that kind of a trial. Maybe South Africa being able to sit this one out when they're talking about criticizing. Sit it out.
I don't know about you guys. I don't know what's happening with this John Fetterman, but I'm starting to feel bad about making fun of him wearing hoodies and gym shorts. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about decorum anymore if he's actually going to move forward saying things that no other member of the Senate, including conservatives, is saying. I'm going to play this again. John Fetterman acknowledging the white genocide. Again, he's talking about how bad things are with Hamas and Israel and how people are criticizing Israel. He does not criticize Israel. He stands with Israel. But here he is comparing it, South Africa weighing in on Israel and going after after Hamas, not Palestinians. And he's telling them they should sit it out because they're moving forward with genocide in South Africa. I can't believe this guy's a Democrat.
And now South Africa is bringing that kind of a trial. Maybe South Africa being able to sit this one out when they're talking about criticizing. Sit it out.
I don't understand what's happening with John Fetterman. I don't get it at all. Apparently, this guy has been red-pilled. More so than Mitch McConnell, more so than many, many members of our United States Senate that are supposed to be conservative or supposed to stand up for Republican values. It looks like it's going to be John Fetterman who does it. No one else. Speaking of members of the Senate, I like where this is going. This week, Rand Paul announced that he is never Nikki. Let's see if we can get this pulled up. Rand Paul went on a rant on Twitter going off about Nikki Haley. Here we go.
Good morning, everyone. As I told you yesterday, I'm ready to say something about the presidential race. I've had a long relationship with Donald Trump, and there's a lot to like there. I'm also a big fan of a lot of the fiscal conservatism of Ron DeSantis. I think Vivek Ramaswamy's been an important voice. Also have listened to and met with the independent Bobby Kennedy. I'm not yet ready to make a decision, but I am ready to make a decision on someone who I cannot support. So I'm announcing this morning that I'm Never Nikki. And if you go to nevernikki.net, you can let her know that you're not a supporter either. I don't think any informed or knowledgeable libertarian or conservative should support Nikki Haley. I've seen her attitude towards our interventions overseas. I've seen her involvement in the military-industrial complex, $8 million being paid to become part of the team. But I've also seen her indicate that she thinks you should be registered to use the internet, that people posting ideas anonymously. I think she fails to understand that our republic was founded upon people like Ben Franklin, Sam Adams, Madison, John Jay, and others who posted routinely for fear of the government. They posted routinely anonymously. And I think her failure to really understand that, or to think that you should register through the government somehow for the internet, is something that should disqualify her in the minds of all libertarian-leaning conservatives. So I'm announcing today, I'm Never Nikki. You can go to nevernikki.net and sign up and show her that you're Never Nikki also.
I like this. I can't get enough of this, actually. Rand Paul, I think, is one of the most logical members of the Senate. It's going to be Rand Paul and John Fetterman, is who I trust in the United States Senate. I never thought that combo would be the two. I always thought maybe, oh, there goes my camera going crazy. I always thought maybe it would be Rand Paul, but never Rand Paul and John Fetterman being the two most logical people in the Senate. He's, of course, going Never Nikki. Nikki Haley supporting no anonymous people online. I guess she doesn't like being criticized, or her maybe it's her Warhawk friends don't like being criticized online by anonymous people. Of course, the Federalist Papers were written anonymously because people didn't want to be imprisoned while speaking the truth and trying to change the country at the time. Nikki Haley wants people held accountable for every word that they say online, especially when you're criticizing the government and her. And she is all about people registering online to speak freely, which isn't free speech at all. Never Nikki, I'm on board with that. I think a lot of you guys are as well. I don't know who's supporting Nikki Haley. She's been seen with Frank Luntz lately, Kevin McCarthy's concubine/roommate. And he's been going up to her events. So this is the military-industrial complex. I think it's the Rhinos, the George W. Bush wing of the Republican Party that is barely clinging, especially after George P. Bush lost his election for Attorney General in Texas the last time. So I really think what we're seeing right now is the last hope for the George W. Bush side of the Republican Party, the Patriot Act side of the Republican Party. The people who want the government to oversee more and more want you to have less and less freedoms. And that is definitely Nikki Haley. It is definitely George W. Bush. And it's everyone around them. I really commend Rand Paul for coming up with Never Nikki. That's fair. I think any of those other three candidates would be great. All right. In the anti-American news, because Nikki Haley is definitely anti-American, you have to see this. I think this is very interesting. Obviously, that's why I'm bringing it up on the podcast. They are changing. The Biden administration is now changing passports. If you guys have a passport, of course, you know that all throughout it, there are really, really cool pictures of American history and all of the great successes that we've had. It's a really cool book. I mean, you're paying for it, so they might as well make it entertaining. The Biden administration is taking all of that out in lieu of what looks to be just a drab government document now. I'm not sure why they've redesigned it, other than, again, cultural Marxism. No more we the people, no more Constitution quotes, just a bland passport with nothing in it. So we can look just like a communist nation or your favorite Marxist nation if you really want to go that way. I don't understand the purpose of that, other than this administration is truly anti-American. And nothing says that they're anti-American quite like them not defending the border. And God bless Texas for doing so. Bill Malugin from Fox News reporting that the Texas Military Department confirms that the Texas National Guard has seized control of Shelby Park and Eagle Pass. That's where many of the illegal crossings are. Again, that's a little video of that. So now the Texas National Guard, the Texas Military Department, has thrown out the United States Border Patrol so that they can actually monitor and protect the border. I think it's about 3 years too late, to be honest with you, but at least they are beginning to do something now. And in case if you're wondering what the Border Patrol who got tossed out of there for the Texas National Guard to guard the border, what they're saying, the Border Patrol Union has confirmed that they like the idea. They like that their agents are being blocked by Texas soldiers. The quote from the Border Patrol Union is that Governor Abbott is not harming Border Patrol operations. He's enhancing them. His seizing control of Shelby Park allows our agents to deploy to troubled spots that experience high numbers of gotaways. Governor Abbott's actions should be seen as a force multiplier. So even though he is throwing out, and Texas is throwing out the federal government from this Park and Eagle Pass where thousands, if not millions of people have passed through illegally, the Border Patrol agents are happy that Texas is doing it because their hands are tied when they have orders coming from Mayorkas and from the Biden administration that they can't do anything, they can't act. So it actually works out for them that that Texas is enforcing the laws. Now, also this week, I think this is the most interesting story of the week. The Emmys have recalled 37 Emmy Awards from ESPN. ESPN, a woke company, of course, working underneath Disney and ABC. ESPN has to return 37 Emmys that were here. I'm going to pull up the story. ESPN has to return 37 Emmys, one using fake names. So apparently they were lying. They were scamming the Emmy Awards out of these awards for people. I know at one point they would change the names of people of their on-air personalities. So like Aaron Andrews, they called Eric Andrews. Let's see if they have a couple of the examples here. I'm going to read the story for you. The National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences has taken back at least 36 Emmy Awards that were won by fake ESPN employees, then re-engraved and given to hosts who were ineligible for the awards. So what was happening was ESPN was putting in fake names to get awards. They got the awards. Again, that speaks to this award ceremony and who's paying attention. Then they re-engraved the trophies and handed it to their hosts. So Nadas has taken back 37 awards given to College Game Day program, which won multiple awards for Outstanding Weekly Studio Show. At the time of the show's victories, on-air talent was prohibited from winning outside of individual categories to prevent front-facing talent from winning 2 awards for the same work, termed double dipping by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences rulebook, The Athletic reports. In an attempt to honor on-air talent, however, ESPN executives included employees with names similar to the names of on-air personalities with identical initials, according to Katie Strang's report. Since at least 2010, so this has been going on for 13 years, ESPN inserted fake names in Emmy entries, then took awards by some of those imaginary individuals, had them re-engraved, and gave them to the on-air personalities. So here, some of those who took awards home intended for fictitious associate producers were faces of the network like Kirk Herbstreit and Lee Corso, reporter Shelley Smith, and Gene Wojciechowski. I want to see if they have the names of here because it's really funny. That doesn't matter. But I do know that at least in one example, Aaron Andrews was given an award for Eric Andrews. So they would just, I guess, buff the award out and then add that in and give their own reporter one of the awards. I mean, is this something that you would expect from a woke network? I wouldn't doubt that they would do something like this. This just feels par for the course for a place like ESPN, who is willing to cheat and lie and push BLM all day long. I can't get it. I just don't understand. I don't understand why you would do that. Also this week, a very funny video surfaced of the difference between woke barbers and regular barbers. Now, I know this sounds weird, but in the world of wokeness, apparently you have to ask to be, if you can touch someone who you're cutting the hair off. Now, imagine going to, I'll show you this video clip in a second. Imagine going to a barber shop and having your barber ask if they could touch you to cut your hair. It's implied once you sit in the chair. I don't know how you would. What if you said no? How are they supposed to cut your hair then? Watch this. I think you'll like it.
Hey, is it okay if I touch you? Yeah? Okay, cool.
Is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Before we get started, is it okay if I touch you? Are you fucking serious?
Again, this is somebody who's making fun of it. So this is a regular barber who is mocking this woke video by showing exactly how his customers would react if he asked to touch them.
Is it okay if I touch you? What?
Is it cool if I touch you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it okay if I touch you?
Just cut my fucking hair.
So is it okay if I touch you?
How else are you gonna fucking cut my hair?
What are your pronouns?
They, them. She, they.
I'm glad.
Okay, and also, like, who gives a shit about your pronouns when you're cutting hair? Just cut hair. How about that? How about just cut hair? This is why people hate other people.
We exchange those.
What are your pronouns? Oh, they, them. Okay. Thank you for asking.
Yes. And what are your pronouns?
Cut hair.
And what were your pronouns? She, they. She, they too.
Yay.
No, it's
What is, who even, again, it should be clown.
just like regular. I gotta ask everybody what their pronouns are.
Forget it, dude. I'm leaving.
I think that's how any normal person would react in this situation. If you were asked your pronouns when you sat down to get haircut, or if the barber could touch you, wouldn't you leave? I think I would. It makes logical sense, but not in clown world. Absolutely not in clown world. Also, in clown world, or maybe Canada, you could call it. Apparently, Canada has decided to go full fascism. Here's a reporter for Rebel News asking questions of a government official, and you'll never believe what happens to him here. This is, I think this is shocking footage. I think it's troubling footage. You need to see it though. It is interesting. So here's a Rebel News reporter goes up to, I believe it's the number 2 of Canada. I mean, again, I'm not a foreign policy person. I just do know how journalists should not be treated, and what would happen if this were to happen to, well, at least someone underneath a Republican administration. There should be worldwide outrage about what happens here.
Ms. Freeland, how come the IRGC is not a terrorist group? Why is your government supporting Islamo-Nazis?
Okay, so this guy's just asking questions, just walking down the street asking questions. He's immediately accosted by a member of her security team, who says, "You're under arrest for assault." Now look how quickly that happened. The guy reaches out and pushes him himself, not the reporter. And suddenly he's under arrest for assault and slammed up against something. And literally manhandled by the security there in Canada.
Police, you're under arrest. How am I under arrest? You bumped into me. You pushed into me. I was just scrubbing. I got my credentials here, and you just bumped into me. So police, you're under arrest. What is your name in your bag?
He says that the journalist pushed into him. He's walking down the street. The guy puts his hand out. This is a clown world. I think Hitler would be very happy. Mao would be very happy with what's happening in Canada right now. And you can see they start manhandling him.
You're saying, officer, that's here that was pushing people. Why am I
Taking his camera, they take his microphone.
This is the Gestapo taking blackface's orders. Outrageous.
I like that he refers to Trudeau as blackface, by the way. But that is absolutely what's going on in Canada right now. Fascism taking over. I mean, it makes sense. Trudeau did like Castro, so they're par for the course there. Back to America, and I want to show you this. Congresswoman Jayapal, I don't even know what you would call her, is apparently very upset with, it may not work. Very upset with Trump giving her an erection. Hold on. I love that I have to Google that. Let's see if the internet wants to work for me here.
We're going to talk about outrageous things that have happened or things that have never happened. Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
Again, these people, number one, trying to push their insurrection line, which, again, I'd argue that it was never an insurrection. But they can't even get the lines right when they're in clown world. So here she is again, calling it an erection. She does catch herself, but these people are incredibly, incredibly stupid.
We're going to talk about outrageous things that have happened or things that have never happened. Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection. And maybe that too.
Yeah, you could talk about that too, I guess.
I think he does incite erections for many Democrats. It gets them a little bit more excited than what they would ever be. What else are they doing with their lives other than having Trump derangement syndrome, giving them erections? Here's another good clip of the week, and we may end here because I don't think it gets much better than this. A reporter followed Hunter Biden around. Hunter Biden showed up for a little theater on Capitol Hill the other day, and, well, here's the question.
What's your favorite type of crack? Are you on crack today?
Mr.
Let's watch that again.
Hunter, what's your favorite type of crack? Are you on crack today?
I don't think it gets much better than a reporter following around Hunter Biden on Capitol Hill, other than maybe Hunter Biden getting arrested for the actual crimes he's committed. A reporter following around Hunter Biden on Capitol Hill, asking him if he's on crack today. I love it. I hope you do as well. Listen, there are a bunch of other stories. Let me see if there's anything else we should cover today. Yeah, honorable mention I will do this one. Honorable mention goes out to this dog grooming shop in Florida. Salty Pup Dog Spa. We groom dogs, not your kids. Shout out to them. I think that is hilarious. Good on them for having some fun with terrible news and things that are going on in the world. There we go. Salty Pup Doggy Spa. We groom dogs, not your kids. Shout out to their business. They're not a sponsor of the show, but we can have fun with them anyway. That's going to be it for this week's Tim Runs His Mouth. We're going to do this more regularly and a little bit more prepared. Today, I wasn't very prepared. I just had a bunch of stuff pulled up. But we're going to have a good time in the future here. Make sure you tune in twice a week. I believe Tuesdays and Thursdays are when we're going to do it. Next week, also, I'm going to be in New Hampshire hanging out with Vivek Ramaswamy and all the other candidates in the New Hampshire primary. I think we're running out of them. Hopefully, Nikki Haley will have dropped out by then. Never Nikki with Rand Paul. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. If you're into cigars, go to cigarsdirect.com. You're going to want to get all of your great cigars from there. They have deals running all the time. Again, high-end, regular, everyday smokes. They've got your cutters, they've got your humidors, they've got all the equipment that you could possibly need to keep your cigars well, and all the cigars that you could possibly want to put in that equipment and use your equipment with. Make sure you go over to cigarsdirect.com. And also check out Ezra Zion Cigars. Everything is cigars here today. Cigars. Make sure you get your Ezra Zion and Nomad cigars. They are limited edition. You are going to love them. I love them. I can't get enough of them. In fact, we were smoking at our local cigar shop the other day, and the guy next to us had Ezra Zion stickers and a couple of the sticks, and he said they are some of the best in the business. So can't beat them. Literally can't beat them. Ezra Zion Cigars and cigarsdirect.com. Go to both of those. And again, thanks for watching the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast. I'm Tim Young here at American Greatness. Look forward to seeing you next time. Like, share, subscribe. See you soon.